Welcome, everyone. I will need only the numbers of your house or number of apartment, not entire address for tonight. Do never give out your entire address on a YouTube channel. Never, 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 never. Happy Sunday night. Happy Sunday night. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're going to talk about, do you realize how much the address of where you live either helps you or hinders you? We're going to find that out tonight, and you guys are going to have a blast. You're going to learn a lot. Numerology always has remedies, always, always. So you don't have to move. If your number's not in harmony with you, there's a simple remedy, and I'm going to show you how. So here's what else you could do to help me. Thank you for all these addresses. I'll get my calculator out. If you feel comfortable adding up all your numbers, this is how you would do it, okay? So for those of you who want to learn this, okay, this is how you would do it. Let's say your address is 3215. So that would be 3 and 2 is 5, plus 1 is 6, plus 5 is 11. 6 plus 5 is 11. Well, that's above 9, right? So if it's above 9, you add the two numbers together. 1 plus 1 is 2, because 11 is 1 plus 1. You live in a 2 house. Now, if your address of your house starts with the letter S or some letter, this little chart will show you. Well, mine starts S for south. Okay, that's a 1. So then you would put a 1 in front of your address, and you would include the 1 in the math. So for those of you who want to excel and be great students, you can go do the math and say, I live in this address. Melanie, what the fuck happened to me today? What the fuck happened to me today? I don't know. Am I supposed to ask you that, Amy? What happened to you today? So apartment number. So I don't need your building number, only your apartment number, because that is the strongest influence. So let's say you live in apartment B. Well, that's a 2. According to the chart here, see the B is a 2. So for you who live in 110, I don't need the 3839. I just needed the 110. So this is going to be so much fun, you guys. You're not even going to believe how much fun we're going to have. So if something crazy happened and I'm in shock and I'm a damn psychic, Amy, what are you doing? Maybe you should give your address on here and we will find out where you're living. We'll see how much your house numerology applies to what's going on in your life. Is your name Amy too? How many Amy's do we have on here? All right. Thank you, Jojo, for adding it up. So I'm going to start at the beginning where this started at. But let me just talk a little tiny bit about house numerology. House numerology is fabulous, okay? So now, if you just built a house in the country and you never put an address on it, like the settlers, in the middle of the woods, they built a cabin. Numerology did not affect that. That's just a cabin in the woods. That's why when I built my barn, there is no sign attached to it. There is no address attached to it. I did not want my barn to have a vibration that I would have to try to figure out with my horses if that was going to be in harmony with my horses' names. So I did not slap a label, a number, nothing on my barn. Same with people. When the cavemen were born, they never documented what day. They never committed something to writing. The minute you commit something to writing, it's a contract. It's in writing. You have now attached a number vibration to yourself by having a birth certificate. So numerology is a science that was established by Pythagoras. It is 100% accurate, and it has remedies for everything. So you should all want to learn numerology. So as part of my readings on YouTube, I also want to do teaching. That's why I'm going to try to leave up this little chart here. So you guys can make this own little chart. See how I highlighted in yellow? You just go 1 through 9, and then you start writing the alphabet down. See, you guys, not hard. It's not hard. Now, if you really want to learn numerology, then you can join my Facebook page, and I'm writing it out here, called Tarot and Numerology Academy. It's $11 a month, cancel anytime, easily. And then I'm going to put dash on Facebook. if you want to learn numerology and other forms of divination. But let's get on with this. So the first address that we have is Talia. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. 9216. So we get our little calculator out. Everybody's phone should have a calculator, right? Because that's really the easiest way to do it unless you're finger challenged. So I am going to put my little calculator, 9 plus 2 plus 1 plus 6. 18. She lives in a 9 vibration house. Now, I'm going to go to my little chart here that tells me what she can expect to experience in a 9 house. But what I'm going to tell you is anybody who's living in a 9 house, so Talia, I need you to do me another favor. Because 9 and 5 houses can be very tricky to live in. I need to know if you have a 5 in your date of birth, and the 5 letters. Let's look at the chart. If you guys can see this good enough, can you see this good enough? The letters for the number 5 are ENW. So Talia, I need to know if you have ENW in your real name frequently. Because a 5 person can handle a 9 place. And also the 9 letters are I and R. If you have I's and R's or the letter 9 in your date of birth, you can handle a 9 place. Everybody else, I have them do a remedy, and remedies are simple. So a 9 house is a place for humanitarianism, all right? Now, if you guys do your own math and you all come up with a 9 house, you all pay attention to what I'm saying. So I might be doing a reading for her, but it's going to be similar to you. And then if you're stuck somewhere in your life, a lot of times I will look at the address you're living at and voila, here comes the solution. A 9 is a place of charitable giving. It promotes creativity, spirituality, forgiveness. People in this home tend to feel like they want to help others. Now, here's the glitch. If you're looking for a place where you want to focus more on yourself, a 9 house isn't going to be that. 9 houses can be very upsetting, like have emotional, like you could get depression easier in there. So the downside is, if you have a loss or a death or things leaving your life, you could hang on to the pain more. The upside is that this is a great place for a teacher or a counselor because it's going to support, I have to quick scroll back down here, Talia, to see if you're answering. You don't have any 5s. You're life path 11 and you were born in 1996. So you have 2 9s in your year. All right. So Talia, do you feel like you're doing good in that house or you're doing well? Because if your life path is 11, is Talia your real name on your birth certificate? Because that's a 2. But what I'm going to tell everybody out here, I'm going to give, if you don't know what number you want to make for a remedy, don't guess. If you don't know numerology, make it a 6. So with remedies, you always add. So for a 9 house to become a 6, you're going to add 6 to it because 9 plus 6 is 15 and 1 plus 5 is 6. So you're going to add a plus 6 to a door. This is the remedy. I'm going to write it and then put it on here. Remedy on door. That leads to the outside. You can put it tiny little letters. Don't make it big. Tiny little letters. And that if you all make your houses a 6, you're all going to be happy with your houses because a 6 is the mother number. It welcomes everybody. It's a very nurturing number. Oh, thank you, Art and Tarot by D. Welcome. I liked Satan. Was the message bad? I was going to talk to Satan. I was going to do his address. Was it 666? Let's see here. So Talia, in the 9 house, it can be a really good house to live in. If you're an artist and you want to be creative and you want to help other people, that's a great house. All right, moving on to Melissa Croft. And now you guys all pay attention to what I'm saying about these house numbers, because you can help other people. You can listen to this live tonight and you can go out there and you can help other people. So let's talk about if Talia wanted a remedy and she wanted to make her house a 6, which is all about family and welcome everybody and it's creativity and it's kindness. So she's going to put a +6, and don't forget the plus sign. You never subtract. You never ever subtract. You always add for remedies. She's going to put it on the door. Now, it could be on the door frame. It could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be a sticky. It could be just like a little marker or a little pencil. You don't even have to see it. Just know where you put it. And you can always cross it off if you don't like it. You can always cancel remedies. This is why you are going to freaking love numerology. So this is how she does a remedy for a house is always done on a door that leads to the outside. Please do not do more than one door. Please. Only do one door. If you do more than one door, you're going to mess it up because it's going to add up all the numbers. So let me see where I need to put the remedy here. Let's see if I can get everything put in here. I wonder if I can get this so you could see everything here. That's the remedy. That's the remedy. This is how to add your house numbers together. All right. And here's the little charts. Everybody happy now? Are we all happy, family? This is the remedy for making it a 6. Now, this is only the remedy for a 9 vibration house. The remedy for the other numbers is going to be different, okay? Because if you want to make it a 6 house, if you lived in a 3 house, you just do +3, right? Okay, everybody following me here? All right, pay attention and we'll all learn, and you guys will all have fabulous places to live in. So Melissa Croft is next, and what I want... Melissa Croft, I need to know if that 340-22 is 340 the building and it's apartment 22, or is that actually how your address is? Because the 340 is a 7, the 22 is a 4. So she lives in an 11 house, and then remember, she's an 11 house right here. Melissa Croft, you're on our example. And then 1 + 1 is 2. Look at that. So Melissa, or anyone else who has done their math on their house, wait till you find out what a 2 house is. You guys are going to be amazed when you start to learn numerology for houses. A 2 place is devoted to love and family and partnership and cooperation. It promotes loving each other. It's a house that wants the people to create a life together, couples, kids, friends, it encourages everyone to be diplomatic. The space wants you to be fair. Living here can teach you lessons about relationships, peace, harmony. If you're wanting a place to launch your career, it's not the place for you. A 2 house is kind of like internal stuff. It's not really go out there and get them. That would be more like a 1 or an 8 house. So if you just want to create a nest and kind of hang out and cooperate with people and work on relationships, it's a great house. However, this house will tend to make you want to stay home. It'll be like, oh, you don't need to go out. So if you're wanting to go out and party and things like that, not really a good house for you. Also, if you're an emotional person as a whole, it could be too emotional for you. So a 2 house is a good house to also work on intuition, Melissa. So now, the other part of this is normally I get the month and day of what the person lives in, and then I look at their numbers to see if they're in harmony of the house, but that's too much time. It would take me so much time to get through each person that I would only get through just a very few people. And, I want to get through as many of you as I can. You guys, if you like these videos where I'm teaching you and we're learning together, please like this video. And then if you could click on subscribe, it would be awesome. And then there's a little bell there and you'll get notified when I go live, which typically tends to be Friday nights and Sunday nights, okay? Friday nights and Sunday nights, I tend to go live. And you can share this video, share, and I will love you. I will love you all the way to the moon and back. Amy Della Penna, she lives at 1166. So everybody add that up. 6 and 6 is 12, which is a 3. And then we go 1, 1. So Amy lives in a 5. Now, what did I tell you about 5 houses? You guys remember what I say about these numbers. 5 houses, the people tend to have a lot of upsetting events, okay? So remember when I asked Amy Della Penna for her address, it did not surprise me when she said, "You won't believe what happened to me." That did not surprise me because a part of my mind went, gee, I wonder what kind of house she lives in. So, of course, she lives in a 5. So, Amy, right now, you're going to have to leave the live, get your pen out, and go put a +1 on one door, not big. Don't put it on the side of your house. I had somebody put a 2-foot letter on the wall of their house, and then the postman said, "What are you doing to your house? There's a big plus number sign. Are you changing your address?" And she's like, "No." And I said, "You did nothing. Nothing happened because you didn't do it on the wall. You did on the wall and not on the door. And you don't need a 2-foot letter. Tiny little letter. Like tiny. You know what tiny is." So Amy lives in a 5 house. So yeah, that does not surprise me that something upsetting happened. In fact, you're going to have a lot of upsetting events until you change that to a 6, which will calm everything down. All right. So, Amy, I know that is her real name, and that is her name is a 147 for her first name. She's got a 147. Well, 147 does not like 5. Okay. So this might be the most gorgeous house in the world, but the vibration of this house would kick her out. So she might find herself working long hours or being crazy and running out of the house, or being, 5 is nervous energy. So she could have a lot of nervous energy in that house. So if you could just run to the door, Amy, right now, get that remedy done, that will be great. And then it will calm you down, and it will nurture you. So Melissa, okay, so then we did Amy. And then we're going to go to Gloria Soul or Saul. And you have apartment 110, I think. I'm not because I think the building number is 3839. Now, we can do the numerology of the building, but that's affecting everyone in the building, all right? But let's just do it for practice. So everybody get your calculator out, and we're going to calculate out Gloria Soul's number for her building. 3 plus 8 plus, where are you? 3 plus 8 plus 3 plus 9 equals 23. She's in a building 5. Now, we can't have her do a remedy on the building. Why? Because you don't want to influence other people's free will. Now, you guys jump out here for questions if you have them. Raise your hand, ask a question, because this is like a classroom, and this is so important for you guys to learn this, or at least be aware of this. It's so surprising. But it's wonderful. So she's in a 5 building, which is okay. That's about freedom and travel and things like that. And she's in a 2 apartment, which is very calming. And, it wants to have her, a 2 apartment will say to her, let's say that you live in a 2 and you're single. The apartment will be like, gee, wouldn't it be nice to have another person living here? And so it would either impress upon you, to have a roommate come in. It doesn't care. A dog. I mean, it just wants somebody else to share the space with you. A cat, a gerbil, a rabbit, a boyfriend, a girlfriend. It doesn't really care. But a 2, sometimes people who want to be single and move into two house, apartment 2 or whatever, they're like, oh my God, I feel like guilt because I'm not in a relationship. Well, that's what it can do to you. So that's what I mean about what I always find out, what kind of experience do you want to have? And then we do a remedy on the house to make sure that what the experience they want to have is what, the address. So how do you know that a 2 house isn't working for you? Because you'll start to feel emotionally needy, and people will be like, what the heck? You are so needy. Well, that's when you know you might need to do a house remedy. And you guys, when you do house remedies, for one thing, it's 100% accurate, and it works because it's a science. It's not woo-woo. It's a science. It's a proven science. So be very careful not to change other people's numerology without their permission, okay? Don't do that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say to you. So Melissa Croft So your Melissa Croft is a 22. What does 22 mean? Oh, you did your own. Oh, 22 is the place you live in? Okay, gotcha. So we pay attention to just the 22. Oh, good. Then we get to talk about a 4, Melissa Croft. I'm sorry that I screwed that up and added the whole thing. All right, let's look at a 4 house. Who wants to know about a 4 house? Because 4 houses are freaking fun. So a 4 house is a place to establish security, like financial security. And think of things with 4, like a car has 4 tires, a house has 4 corners on it, right? So it's slow, steady progress. Now, it can tell you that you need to work harder, right? It can kick your ass. If you try to be lazy in a 4 house, it's gonna be kicking you. It's gonna be like, you're gonna work, right? And it wants to be organized. It doesn't want junk drawers, right? It's gonna be like, no clutter here, So if you want like a free-flowing environment where you can just go with the flow, a 4 house is not gonna work for you, right? So the upside is it's a place for financial security in your life. It's for serious people who are, really wanting to, establish financial security or education, anything where you're planning goals. A 4 house is going to love you, but it can feel too serious and heavy, right? Especially if you want to like have too much fun in a 4 house, it'll be like, you got to work. 4 houses like people to work. So, there you go. And Melissa, if Melissa is your real name, then M is a 4. See, you guys, I got the little chart here. You can see the 4 letters are DMV. So she's got M, which is a 4, and she's living in a 4 place. Now you're going to find that that's common. Hi, Kimchi. I should have went and said all my hellos to everybody. I don't know where my manners were tonight. Let me go and quick do that. Hi, Talia. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Amy. Hi, Jojo. Welcome, Kimchi, Aaron. I'm so happy you guys are here. Shamika. Art and Tarot by D. Not doing birthdays at Kim, just numbers of your address. Thank you, Art and Tarot by D. I'm mailing you a big gift, a big spiritual package. All you got to do is private message me, and you are getting a big gift from me. Jojo, numerology, I love it. I love numerology. What's wrong with Satan? Satan is really bothering us tonight, right? Grow flowers for bees. Thank you. You're in a 9. Thank you for that. So for you guys just joining, I saw your horoscopes on Facebook. Oh, yes, I love those daily horoscopes. I actually get into that character. When I go on Snapchat to do those, I fall into the character role. For those of you, it's Melanie's tarot page. I'll type it in here on Facebook. This is my free page. I do readings on there Saturday night. So if you got to get a lot of readings from me, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just Melanie's tarot page. I'll type it in here. And that is a free page. Help yourself. All right. Let's see. Who else do I have to say hi to? DCA. I think I caught everybody. We're doing house numerology. I'm showing you on the sheet here how to add up your address if you want, or I'll do it for you. It doesn't matter. I'm showing you the remedy for the house. It's always done with a plus sign and a door. And if you're not comfortable with it, I'll help you with the remedy. So I just need you to put either the apartment number you live in or just the number of your address, not the street, not the city, just the number on your place. So we did Amy. Let's see, who do we have next? We have Aaron. And Aaron, and everybody can do this along with me. Aaron lives at 937, so it's a 1. So 7 plus 3 is a 10, which is a 1. And then 9 plus 1 is a 1. She did that right. Yay, Aaron, you rock. And we got a number 1 to talk about. Oh, God, we're going to have so much fun tonight. So Aaron, if Aaron is your real name, then E is a 5. And the RI are 9s, and the N is a 5. So your name pattern is 5995, and you're living in a 1 house. That's okay. Let's see if you like the 1 house. This is a place to promote your individuality. It's going to give you ambition and drive. It's going to support self-employment or a very active career. You'll be encouraged to really be successful. It'll teach you lessons about confidence and courage. failing forward. In other words, you can fail, but you're going to learn from it, right? Not a soft and fuzzy place. So if you're looking for a home that's going to nurture you and be soft and fuzzy, then you would add a +5 on the door to make it a 6. So if any of you guys want house numerology reports, I do full reports, and I take everybody in the family's name and dates of birth, including the pets, and I figure out what house number is good for everybody. Right now, I don't have time to do those until 2020, so don't ask this year. This year, I'm booked. So the downside about a one house can be the loneliest number. So if you're single living in a one house, we got to change that, because a one house is not going to want you to have a relationship. In fact, if you try to have them over, the house will kick them out, and they'll find some reason to leave, and you'll be like, why don't they stay? Well, because the house is kicking them out. Not the house, but the numerology of the house, the vibration of the house. It's perfect for establishing independence. Like if you're newly divorced, you could do a remedy for your house to be a 1, and you would rock it on. All right, Jojo, you have a 1. And J, AJS. So even if Jojo is not your real name, the fact that you picked it for YouTube means that you are connected to the number 1. So your name is 1616. So 1 is a great place for you to live, unless you want to find a partnership and you don't have one. Then we've got to do a remedy, okay? So having a long-term relationship in a one house is challenging, because the 1 wants you to work on yourself all the time, and it can also promote workaholism, like too much working. So Jojo, I think a one house will be good for you. And if you're already in a committed relationship, you can live in a one house. You can do that. It will encourage each person, to be the very best that they can. But if you're single and you're trying to get into a relationship, that's where the one house gets difficult. So if you're in a one house and you're already happily married, and you're fine. All right. So I want to clarify that. I don't want to create fear. Shamika lives in a 304. Oh my gosh, Shamika. For those of you joining us right now, we're doing house numerology, and we just need the numbers of your address or apartment number. Shamika, you live in a 7. We get to talk about a 7 now. By the way, that person that gave their address, I can go back and do their numerology if I have time at the end of this, because I hate for anybody to get left off. Let's talk about a 7 house, Shamika, shall we? Because we haven't talked about a 7 house yet. You're going to love this, you guys. A 7 place is about introspection and contemplation. It's a spiritual seeking home that wants you to isolate yourself to fine-tune your intuition, right? It promotes tranquility, soul searching, knowledge gathering, spirituality of any kind, even religion. People living in this house, the house will want you to find your own truth. It's a place where you can get to know yourself on a deeper level. You'll find that you need to have faith in yourself, right? Now, the downside of a 7 house, you might have the tendency to feel alone, right? Since the number 7 also loves to escape, you might have trouble with drug and alcohol issues. So if you have trouble with addiction, don't live in a 3 house or a 7 house, okay? I'm just giving you a little heads up there. It's the perfect place for a writer, a scientist, anybody actually using their mind that needs time to study. It's a great house for that. It's a great house for intuition. The 7 letters, by the way, or the letters that equate to 7 are GPY. So if you have either 7s in your date of birth or GPY letters in your name, you're going to be somewhat compatible with the 7 house. You're kind of confused. How do I get my number? Okay, it's right here. It's right here, Kimchi Bay. See these numbers here? So you just take your address. You take your address here. You add 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 5. Well, that totals 11. Well, that's above 9. So you got to add it again. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. So that's how you do it. And you can just put your numbers out here if you're confused, and I'll add them up for you. You can just put your address and I'll add them up. Numerology is real. It works. And I'm really happy you guys showed up for this. So grow flowers for bees is a 9. And we talked a little bit about the 9 house. And her name is Janet. So Janet is, the J is a 1, the A is a 1, the N is a 5, the E is a 5, and the T is a 2. So she's got a pattern of 11552, and she lives in a 9 house. So that's interesting. But then I would ask her, Janet, if you have any 9s in your date of birth or the letters IR in any other part of your name, because there's no IR in Janet, because the 9 house could be a challenge for you, Janet. So do you have a lot of things that end? Like, if you have too many endings, or it's too much of an emotional place, or you think something's going to work out and it crashes and it goes away. A lot of things leave your life in a 9 house. Things leaving, right? So the upside is it's definitely a house where you can be a teacher, a counselor. It promotes spiritual growth and any kind of artistic work. It's a great place to express yourself. But the downside is it's emotional, and you can have a lot of upsets in a 9 house. So what we have to do is establish then if that 9 house is working for you. So we're going to scroll down here. Gloria Soul. Oh, so Gloria Soul, her birthday, she gave me her birthday, 9/7. I don't need the year. I don't really use the year. So she is a 7, and 9 plus 7. Oh, wow. Gloria, you're a 7/7. You're a 7 for your core and a 7 for your personality, and you're living in a 2. I think that might be okay. So Gloria, are you love to research, study, do mystical things, and so does a 2. 7 and 2 are very intuitive. So I'm going to say to you that if you want to move forward in life, like you want to make big changes, a 2 won't support you in that, okay? So you can do a remedy just temporarily to put yourself in a different space in that house and then put it back. I mean, that's how wonderful numerology is. You can do a remedy for something, the something happens, and then you can do another remedy or cancel a remedy by Xing out. You cancel a remedy by Xing out where you wrote on it, and if you can't remember where you wrote, you just put an X on the door with the intention that that numerology remedy is canceled. What's 1/6? Date of birth 1/6. Oh, January 6th, Shamika. Okay, your birthday is 1/6. So you are a 6 girly. You are a 7 for your personality. Shamika, are you happily married and have a long-term relationship? Because a 6 would require you to want to be nurtured by someone. But the 1 and the 7 of your personality, the 1 of the month and the 7, that would be really hard for you to get into a relationship. So if you're already in one, you're good. Because what happened with me is my husband lived in a 7 place, and it just said, get the hell out. He wants to live alone. Well, he did. He built this house. The address ended up being a 7, and he never got married, never had a relationship here. Well, guess where we ended up growing our relationship? Not in this house. It was always going somewhere, to the movies or to my place, not this house. So when I moved into this house, I didn't do a remedy because I wanted to do spiritual work, and I knew the 7 would allow that. So I left it. But because by then we already had a strong relationship, we've done just fine here. You want to help people with your gifts, Talia? Oh my God, you could totally do that with a 9. In a 9 space. Absolutely, a 9 would want you to help other people. So that would work out really well for you. Hi, Margie Santiago. What if the apartment is D134? So that's where we use our little chart. So D, if you go down here to D, it's a 4. So your address is actually 4 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4. So Margie, your address is going to be 4 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8, plus 4 is 12. Well, 12 is above 9, so 1 plus 2 is 3. Hey, we get to talk about a 3 house. Margie lives in a 3 house. Who wants to know about a 3 house? I feel like I sound like Mr. Rogers. Hey, boys and girls, what the fuck is happening today? All right. Oh, I'm sure I got banned for that on YouTube. They're getting away from swearing. Mr. Rogers would not swear, but I'm the wild Mr. Rogers. 3 houses full. Okay, Margie, you're going to love this. Unless you don't love this. A 3 house is a place that's full of joy, laughter, optimistic, upbeat. It wants to have company. It promotes socializing and uplifting conversation. And if you want to start a family or have a family, it wants everybody to be happy. And it will teach you lessons about communication and how to express yourself. Now, if you're looking for a solitary retreat, 3 is not your place. It wants nonstop company. Also, if money is slipping out of your hands, not good. If you have an addiction to alcohol or smoking and you want to get over it, not good. 3 house is not good. You can get money problems if you're not balanced in a 3 house. You can get scattered and have trouble focusing, you guys. However, the good side is if you like to host parties and have gatherings, this house is going to love you. It's going to love you. So Margie, I hope that was helpful to you. Plus 6. Grow flowers for bees. Let's see. Where are you on my list? Yes, plus 6 would put your house at a 6. Grow flower for bees. That's exactly what you would do. And if you do it now, it happens instantly. Remedies work instantly. Okay, I think we're down to, let me know if I skipped anybody. We're down to Brianna Hawes. And she is 1816, everybody. Everybody do the math. You know what she is? 8 plus 2, or 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 1 is 10, which is a 1, plus 6 is a 7. So Brianna is also in a 7 house. So then I would ask Brianna, are you in a long-term committed relationship, Brianna Hawes? Because if you are, then a 7 house is good. And we'll go back down to the 7 house. This is so much fun, you guys. So a 7 house is a place where you can, for intellect, right? So if you need to think, you need to do homework, it's a great place for college students because a 7 house loves to do research. And it also, it wants you to grow your own self. So let's say that you're having a conflict with your partner. Well, the 7 houses want you to go off and be alone and grow on yourself and screw the partner, right? Forget them. So it's not the best house for working out conflicts with a partner. But if you have a solid relationship with someone, this is a great place. So it is the number that wants you to like escape and have alone time. So you might find yourself, even if you have a spouse, you might find yourself in another room of the house doing your thing, and they're in another room of the house doing their thing. So the 7 numbers, by the way, or letters, I mean, are G, P, and Y. So if your real name or date of birth has a 7, but your real name has a G, P, or a Y in it, a 7 house would be, okay. It would work out for you because you've got some numbers to support living there. It all depends, you guys, what kind of space you want to live in, okay? So that's what's the most important thing. Grow flower for bees is 922. So that would be a 4. That would be a 4 house if the address is 922. Because 9 and 4 is 13 and 1 plus 3 is 4. Is that somebody else's address or was that your address? Grow flowers for bees. Okay. So why does it seem like the opposite? What do you mean the opposite, Gloria? What's the opposite? What does that mean? Why does it seem like the opposite? Because you can, if you're balanced and in harmony with that number, then you're good with that number. If you're not balanced, you're going to reflect the negative side of that number of that space. So if you are in harmony with that space, then you will do really well in there. You will do really well in there. And there's more to look at. We're just doing the basics of home numerology, but there's a whole lot more that goes into this, but I just want to get you introduced to it at a high level. So if I was really looking at your life, I would get your full name on your birth certificate, your full date of birth. I would do your life path. I would do, what pinnacle cycle you're in and what personal year you're in. So when I do charts, I cover everything. Tonight, we're just kind of getting a basic overview of what that home vibration will do. But there's a lot of other factors, but this is a major one. Oh, good, JD, you live in a 170, which is an 8. We now get to discuss an 8 house. All right, we got 17 people and 5 thumbs up. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for liking and subscribing, and thank you for sharing this. We're learning here. I like to do readings or live shows where we're learning something because I just feel like you guys walk away with something of value. So JD, you're going to like this because the 8th house is a place of power and prestige. It's a place where you could really gather financial abundance because the energy of that promotes financial gain. Now, if you make a lot of mistakes, it could also promote financial loss. However, be careful about control and authority. If you're in a leadership position, this is a great place to work. If you're like a manager or you're a leader in the field that you are. However, this house will make you focus on money and achievement. Okay, and the house wants to be a showpiece. It wants to, not be cluttery. You can learn lessons about personal power and endurance, management, and organization in a house like this. If you're looking for a place to come home and relax, this is not the number for you. Okay, but this house does support abundance in all areas of your life. So the upside of it is it's a supporting environment for achievement. Okay, now there can be a lot going on, and you could run a home-based business out of an 8 house and do really well. So the downside of an 8 is it could cause you to take too great of risks, and you could have some losses. So and then also you don't like to let go of things. So hoarders could be, it could cause you to be a hoarder and have all your closets fill up with stuff. You also have to be aware of workaholics. So there's not enough time for play in the 8 house, but that doesn't have to be the case. If you're balanced in an 8 house, you are going to have the positive benefits of the house. If you are not balanced in the house, you'll have the negative side of the 8 house. Thank you guys for this. So Janet, you're 922. That would be a 4 for you. 4 house is a good house. I mean, it's about financial security. It wants things to be organized. It's a very serious house, which if your real name is Janet, 1 people tend to be serious and they like to have plans and goals. So I'm going to say, Grow Flowers for Bees, that you are in a good location for you. I mean, a good number vibration. And the good thing about numerology is you don't have to move. You don't have to move. You just do a remedy. CC. Okay, CC is 18518. So I'm going to get out my calculator because I don't want to count on my fingers. And we're going to clear my calculator, and this is going to be 1 plus 8 plus 5 plus 1 plus 8 equals 23. And that is a 5 because it's above 9. So Cece's living in a 5 house. Now, you guys remember what I said about a 5 house. It can be very challenging. Jojo, you did yours wrong because the number is 1197, but number 1. So was I wrong in just saying 1? Let me see. Let me check. So yours was 1 plus 1 plus 9 plus 7. Yours is a 9 house. It's 18. 1197 is a 9. I don't know what you're talking about, Jojo. I think I'm confused by your comment. All right, we'll go on to Cece. Jojo, let me know what is going on with your number thing. So Cece, you're living in a 5, and we're going to talk about this. A 5 house can have a lot of little accidents if you're not balanced. It can have upsetting events if you're not balanced. But if you're balanced in who you are emotionally and expressing the positive side of your numbers, then a 5 house is a party and fun and fearlessness and adventure. It promotes flexibility, enjoying social times. It doesn't really like self-discipline. So if you're trying to work on your eating or a regular exercise program, unless it's fun, the 5 house will be like, dude, have fun, have fun instead. A 5 house will encourage you to live life to the fullest, be fearless, make lemonade out of lemons. So it teaches you high tolerance level, high acceptance of people. It teaches about facing your fears. So that's the good side of it. The downside of it is it's got such fast energy that if you're trying to relax, you might not sleep well at night. It might be saying, hey, did you check your phone? Did you check the door? Do you have to think about all these things? So if you have children in a 5 house, they're going to be bundles of activities. The 5 will be like, do this, do that, do this, do that. And they'll be running all over the place. It's a very action-based house. So if that works for you, keep it at a 5. Celeste Angel Perry Bryant, so you gave me a building number, I think, but your apartment number is 201, and that's a 3. And the name that you picked, Celeste, the number for 3 is C. So the name that you picked here is a 3, and you're living in a 3 apartment, and that's fun, joy, social times, creativity, but you could tend to spend too much money. So be careful of that. Okay, I have a question. So if my door is not numbered, you don't need your door to be numbered. My door is not numbered. It's way out on the street. It's the fact they assigned an address to my house that makes the numerology work. You don't have to have a number on your door. It could be out on the street. Doesn't matter. It's the fact of them assigning. That's a great question, Gloria. It's the fact that they assigned an address to your property, because all the country places you drive by and there's sticks out by the road with your address on a metal sign. Nobody has their address on their door in the country, but it's a fact they assign the address to the house. It doesn't have to be on the house. So the remedy is still done to the door of the house, not out on you don't do remedy. I don't go out to the little sign that says my address and do the remedy on the sign. It's always to the door entering the house the remedy is done. But it doesn't matter if your address is out on a mailbox. It doesn't matter. It will still work. It'll still work. Gloria feels stuck. Let me see why. What do you mean you feel stuck? Gloria Soul, your house was a 2. Yeah, a 2 is not for moving forward. It's to be content where you are. So that could be why you feel stuck. So if you feel stuck and you want to have more fun in your life, put a +1 and make it a 3, Gloria. Then you'll be moving on. Yes, I did a 5, Ange M. Are you a 5? Okay. Otherwise, we can talk about a 5. We're going to talk about a 5 because 5s have a lot of upsetting things happen to them. So let's say you live in a 5 and it's just I'm not going to say the F word because of YouTube. You have one drama after another. That's a 5 house. But that just means you're not balanced. But it's hard to be balanced in a 5 and a 9 house. That's why I tell people. That's what I put on my own Facebook wall. Hey, if you live in a 5 or a 9, let's do a remedy. And I always tell them to do a remedy to make it a 6. So if you live in a 5 house, it's easy. +1 on your door. One time, one door. +1 changes everything. Takes away that 5 energy. makes it a 6, which is loving and nurturing and calm and less drama. So the good side of a 5 house is if you want, freedom and change and excitement and parties and living on the edge. The bad side is if you have overindulgences. It can also make you do emotional spending, too much sex, you can have, what? Too much sex? Who put that in there? You can never have too much sex. Scratch the sex thing. I don't know why they put that in there. Alcohol, drugs, food, you have to be careful of excess. That's what I'm saying. So that's the 5 house. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up. Oh my God. So if it's apartment 1, then you live in a 1. Okay. 1111. Wow, that's an interesting address. So that's a 4 Aquata. That's a 4. So that's stability and financial stability. Likes to be organized, kind of a serious place to live, but it's a good place if you want to get rich or have at least financial security and you want to, be organized and focus on work. It's a serious place to live. But I like 4. I think it's a great number. Here we go, 3. Did you do the 3? Oh my God. You guys, if you do these remedies, please come back and comment on this live because I'm always interested in the testimonials because I get so many of them when I help people with numerology. And I'm a 9, but looking at a 5. No worries. If you're looking at a 5, you can do a remedy if it doesn't work, but always try living in a 5. Just try it because it might be the best thing you've ever done is living in a 5. If you're going to look at a 5, definitely. So here's what I tell people. You never move into a place based on numerology. That would be effing stupid because you can do remedies on everything. You choose the house for whatever the house has. Don't even look at the address because numerology is 100% accurate and you can do remedies. But you might be drawn to the 5 because you need that 5. It's going to give you freedom and fun and adventure. It's a great number. I don't want to poo-poo 5 and 9s because they are good numbers. It's just that, not everybody can live in a vibration like that. What about a 6? A 6 is, let's talk about the 6th house some more because I don't think I talked about it enough. The 6th house is a place of beauty and nurturing. It's a great place to run a business, raise a family. It's going to welcome people in. Hey, sit down. I love you. It's going to hug you and kiss you and wants to hear about all your problems. It'll help you fix your problems. It'll teach you to trust your visionary ideas. Your 6th house is going to love you unconditionally. And if you screw up, you go to your 6th house, it'll be, don't worry, just as long as you're okay and you're safe. I love you. The 6th house loves you no matter what you do. But if you're looking for a house, that has no responsibility, like I just want to slough off, no, the 6th house won't tolerate laziness, all right? It wants you to contribute to society in a valuable way, all right? But for the most part, it is a very nurturing. Now, you do have to be a little careful because the 6th house could cause you to be a perfectionist, right? And you could actually spend so much time with family in a 6th house that you don't get out with friends and engage yourself. So that's another thing just to look out for. If I have a 5 house and want to make it a 6, I put a +1 next to the address. No, you don't have to do that. It's on the door, which is on the side, not the door. No, you do the remedies on the door. Always on the door. Door. I'll circle door here. Door. And not a bedroom door. Like the front door, the garage door, a door leading to the outside. You do one remedy once. You forget about where the address is. I don't care if it's in a tree house down the block. It doesn't matter where the address is. You do the remedy on the door. Liz Rodriguez lives in a 1018, so she lives in a 1 house. Liz Rodriguez, you live in a 1 house. So having a relationship in a 1 house is tough unless you've already got an established relationship. However, a 1 house will say, dude, we're going to be resilient. You can make it on your own. You're going to be successful. It's a high energy house. It's wonderful. I need an F sign to hold up. Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay, wait. That's a great idea, Jenny, I love you. I'm going to give you a free reading for that because YouTube can't follow a sign. Look at that. Now I just put the sign when I want it. Now I'm going to have so much fun. That was such a great idea. I'm going to make like a really big poster with that word on. Oh God. That is so great. Yours is a 47. So that is a 2. That's right, Jenny Amory. That is a 2 house. So it's great for relationship, patience, cooperation, business, intuition. I mean, it is a good place to live, a 2 house. When you do yours in your experience, how long does it take? Instant. Numerology is instant. The minute you do it, it's instant. But you may not feel it right away. But the effect of it is the minute you're done with that remedy, you're done. It's instant. I love numerology. You're going to love it too. And if the remedy, if you don't like it, you just put an X through it. Like if you do the remedy and all of a sudden you don't like that, it might be because you need another number. You might need a different number other than the 6. And then I'll have to figure out what number would be best for you. Are you going to steal that idea too? I'm going to have so much fun. People are going to get sick of my sign. I'll make it really colorful with flowers and yeah, that'll be really cool. So house numerology is important, you guys. It is important with the space that you live in. It affects your students if they're in a dorm. Heidi Phillips, is a 7 house a good for work from home job? You bet it is. You bet it is. That 7 house is going to have you liking to work alone. So make sure that you have like a bedroom or a space where you can be alone because that's what the house is going to want. But 7s are it's a mental thinking number, research and success. Did you guys know that 7 is the number of success? So Heidi Phillips, you would be very successful in a work at home job in a 7 house. Now, let's say that you're working at home and you're distracted all the time. And a 7 house won't like that. But then I have to look at your address or not your address, your date of birth and your name on your birth certificate to see if there's some part of you that kind of isn't disciplined for working at home. And then we can do a remedy on you and not the house. And then all of a sudden you're focused on work and everything's going great. So there's different factors to this. All right. Is there anybody that has questions about what's noticeable for anyone? If my place in the house is a flat and the other space is used by other persons, do I need to put the number at the door? No, only on your flat door. So if you live in an apartment, you're not going to put it on the building. You're going to put it on the inside of your own door that goes to your apartment. Same thing with a flat. So even though that door doesn't lead to the outside, it leads to a hallway for an apartment, that's okay. You don't want to change a building because that changes everybody in the building and some people will not appreciate that. You do plus the number, right? Like plus with the number. That's correct. That's how you do a remedy. So that's a good question, Madeline. I'm glad that you asked that. That is a fabulous question. Heidi Phillips, 5-12. What does that mean? Is that your date of birth, Heidi? So that was a really good question to ask. So for those of you living in apartments, if your apartment is B, that's 2. That's the number 2. And then if you want to do a remedy on it, you would do it inside your apartment door. So that's your birthday. Okay, Heidi Phillips, did we do your house numerology? So your birthday is a 5-12. And I didn't write you down. And you're in a 7 house, Heidi? Your birthday is 5-12 and you're in a 7 house. Oh, so you do have a 3 for your core So you could get distracted working at home, Heidi, like, oh, look what's on the internet. I think I'll look on there. So you could get distracted, but I'll tell you what, your personality is an 8, and that's all about business and earning money. So as long as you focus on, oh my God, look at all the benefits of earning money by working in my home. I'm saving money. I can earn good money. If you find yourself distracted a lot, put a +1 on the bottom of one of your shoes, and that will make you a 4. And then for sure, that 4 will kick you in the ass if you start to get distracted. It'll be like, hey, you're here to work. Now let's work. So, but I think, you should be able to do it. I'm a 3. I'm a 30, and I can work at home. I do get distracted, but I catch myself. So as long as you catch yourself, you should be just fine. Yes, that's right. I'm adding the numbers of the street address, and we're doing remedies on only the door, not where the address actually is located. So I guess by the house number, you can something out your neighbors by theirs, if that makes sense. What does that mean? So Jenny Amory, what are you asking? So I guess by the house number, you can something out your neighbors by theirs. You can figure out. Does sus mean figure out? Oh my God, you can totally look at your neighbor's address and say, oh, this is not going to work for them, but you don't do anything about it. You're just going to think it in your mind, but it might work for them. It might work for them, but it might not. And it's kind of interesting to do numerology at different places. You know what I love doing? Someone invited me to Parade of Homes, and this is where they were having homes for sale. The builders build all these homes, and I went around and did the numerology on every freaking house we went into, and I'm like, this house is not going to sell. It's not going to sell. And sure enough, a few months later, here's that house still on the market, just because the numbers, that's how big of an impact the numbers have. So it is very interesting. My first name is a 1. My middle name is a 2, and my last name is a 3. So your total, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's very interesting. 1, 2, 3. That's very interesting, Art and Tarot by D. That you've got that in your first and your middle and your last. So that totals 6. Yeah. So I don't usually add up all the letters of the name, but you can. But usually in numerology, you'll add up like the consonants and then the vowels, and things like, I don't do the total name, but I look at the consonant and vowels and things like that, because, there's a lot to learn in numerology, but that is really cool. And numerology, whether you follow it or not, it's always influencing you. It's always affecting you. Even if you don't believe in it, it's affecting you. So some of my friends went to a hotel and ended up in room E or something. It came out to a 5, and they had a water leak in it. And I go back down to the desk and try to get into a 4 so that you can sleep at night. That was really funny. But it wasn't funny that they had a water leak, but it was funny because, I don't know if you guys watch obituaries at all, but most people who die like by car accidents and suddenly will die on 5 days, like the 14th or the 23rd. And be careful on the 14th and the 23rd when you are driving. Pay extra good attention. But now this is what the cycles of numerology has nothing to do with the house. But a lot of people, like just at work, just last week, one of my coworkers, both parents died in a car accident on the 14th of October. And I was like, oh, shit. So it's just something to pay attention to. Vera Booty, just put only your numbers of your house and you can get added. My sister is a 213. She's also a 6. Yes, that's fascinating. Sandy June, you just add whatever number to your place. So yes. So here is what you do. If you're just joining us, this is a fake address. You add 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 5, that equals 11. And anything above 9 you add together, so 1 plus 1 is a 2. That's how you do the number. Your place comes, so 8 and 8 is 16, which is a 7, plus 2 is a 9. You are correct. Sandy June, you live in a 9 place. And A 9 place is great if you're a teacher, you're interested in healing, you're compassionate, you want to help others. It's a wonderful home for spiritual growth, musicians, business people. I love 9 houses. The only way that a 9 house wouldn't work is if you're like emotionally crying all the time or you're depressed, because then a 9 house could be too emotional. It could be too emotional. But if it's not, it could be a great place for you. And the letters for number 9 are I and R. So if you have I's and R's in your name, or you have 9s in your date of birth, you could do very well in a 9. But yeah, 9s can be tricky. They can be tricky. That's exactly right. Your husband's a musician. There you go. You homeschooled your son. There you go. See, this is you guys, I've been doing numerology, 24 years now? Someone will start talking to me and I'm like, oh my God, they're a 5. And I'm like, and I don't ask people their date of birth. But if they happen to give it to me, I'll be like, you can actually predict what people's numbers are when you study this enough. You'll be like, oh my God, you're so a 4, or you're a 1, or you're a 2. I mean, it's just an interesting, and it's a science, so it's accurate. So you are in a 9 and your husband's a musician, and look at this. You're born on the 19th. There's a 9. In 1990, there's a 9. Of course you ended up in a 9 house. Of course you did. That's hilarious. That is funny. I really love it when people are drawn to, and most of the time you're going to be drawn into the house, number that you need. So, don't even look at the number when you're looking at houses. But, so Madeline, which number should I choose? I'm a 2. What does that mean you're a 2? A 2 what? Life path, your core number, or your house is a 2? So if you're looking for work, success, and relationships, a 2 is okay for that. You need literally everything. Your name is an 8. Your date of birth is a 6-1. And that's a 1-7. You're 1 for your core, 7 for your personality. Yeah, 1 and 7 would be really hard to have a relationship, because those are numbers that say, leave me the hell alone. So I'm going to have you do 2 things, Madeline. I'm going to have you put a +1 on the bottom of your shoe. Only one shoe, only one time, and you only need to wear the shoe once. You don't have to do every shoe. You just only have to wear the shoe one time, and the remedy will stick with you, okay? So you're going to make yourself a 2, okay? So that is going to help you with the relationship part. If you live in a 2 place, did I do your numerology, Madeline? I don't have your name written down here. But a 2 or a 4 place would make you successful in business. Either one of those numbers would be good for business. Vera, did you put your number down? Your address number, Vera? Because you can get added. It's not too late. I've got a couple minutes here left. So does anybody have any questions about remedies or figuring out their number? Joan Matos, I just did my +1 remedy. Let the big bucks roll. Yeah, I almost said the F word. Wait, I had a sign for that. I'm going to love that sign. I might just paint a really fancy sign. Oh, man. I'm getting way too into that. 6s are good homes for everybody to live in. It's pretty much, it's pretty much. Oh, what house number did we not talk about today? Let's go through my list and see, what did we not talk about? We talked about the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7. I think we talked about them all. You guys had them all, right? Yeah. So the only thing we didn't talk about is master number houses, and I don't do those. And that would be the 11s or the 22s. I don't do master numbers. The chances that you're ever going to be influenced by a master number, slim to none. I mean, maybe Dalai Lama, okay? Maybe the Dalai Lama, we would look at a master number home. Everybody else, You're down to everyday life, and it's never come up in all the years of numerology. I've never looked at master ones. So 1 shoe, 1 time. That's what you do. A +1 on 1 shoe, and you wear it once. Now, if you wear it every day, good. But you at least need to wear it once. And a 2 or a 4 for the house. Madeline, that depends on what your house is. So if your house is a 2 and you add a +2 to it, you will make it a 4, and that's financial security. So can you still use my F-it deck? I can, but I have to be very careful when I use my F-it deck. So, because YouTube is like really screening for swearing right now. So there's my F-it deck, and that's based on the minor arcana of tarot. So that's why this deck tends to be accurate. Let's see what this group needs. Pull an F-it card for this deck. Wait for stuff to settle down. So there's a few of you out there that need your life to settle down, right? I love that deck, but I'm just not really a swearing person for the most part. Damn you, YouTube. You guys are so funny. You cuss like a sailor too. I love all you guys. You guys are great. Okay, Madeline. So what is the address of the number of your place or your apartment? And I will look at your situation, Madeline. I'm writing you down right now if I didn't get to you. So you are, the house number is 2. So she lives in a 2 house. And Madeline, your date of birth. Great. I don't know if it will work out. Oh, it's going to work. What do you mean you don't know? Numerology is 100%. It works every time. There's not, I don't know if it's going to work in numerology. That's why I got into numerology versus astrology, because numerology works 100% of the time. If you put the +1 on your shoe, that's good. Your house is a 2, so if you want more money, 2 is good, but you could make it a +2 on the front door, and that would make it a 4, and that's more money. And you are a 6-1, so you're a 1-7 for your personality. You're a 1 for the core, born on the 1st, and you're a 7 for your personality. So those numbers like don't always get along with the 2. Let me think about this. But if your goal is for financial security, I do want that house to be a 4. So make the house a 4. And having a June 1st birthday, the 1st will help motivate you. And so I think that what you did, Madeline, you got it exactly right. The +1 on your shoe is perfect because that's going to get you into a relationship. I don't look at your life path. This is why I don't look at the life path, because you have your whole freaking life to do it. So what does day to day, like right today, what are you going to do for your life path? I don't know. You got your whole life for your life path. So if your life path is an 11, to me, that's a 2, because I don't do masters unless you're like Sylvia Brown. Maybe I would look at her life path. So your life path is a 2. So that just tells me that, that might be why you were drawn to the 2. But 2s are all about, intuition, cooperation. They so a 2 life path is fine. But for every day, like for this year or next year, it's too, what do you call it? It's too mutated. It's too minor for me to ever look at life paths. I very rarely look at life path. Very rarely. I do if we have somebody's life that's not working for them, then I look at everything. I look at your personality number. I look at your life path. I look at your date of birth. Look where you're living. I look at everything if we have a mystery to solve out, in your life, if something is really crazy and not working. Oh my gosh, we're at the 8 o'clock phase here. So thank you guys for being on my channel. I hope that you've enjoyed this little bit of teaching about numerology. And like I said, if you want to really dive into numerology, I've got a ton of units on it at Tarot and Numerology Academy. I'll put that down here again. And is spelled out. And a lot of people can't spell academy, including me. And I'll put on Facebook. So that's where I am on Facebook. So yes, Gloria, I'm glad you joined me. And thanks for putting my link for Facebook, because I always forget to do that. So Art and Tarot by D did a link to my Facebook. And Art and Tarot by D, if you private message me, I have a spiritual mystery box that I'll send you that you are gonna love. You are gonna love it. So the rest of you guys have a great night. I want to thank all of you for joining me. Remember, I'm not sure how much longer I'll be doing the Friday night lives on YouTube, but for sure Sunday nights work for me. So if Sunday nights work for you, that's great. Otherwise, I'll catch you next Friday. For, while I have time, I'll continue doing lives twice a week. Why is my phone making noise? You get a new phone and it's like does these weird things. So, okay, I'll see you guys later, and be sure to check out, I'm going to put a lot more pick threes out here for you guys. I love the pick threes. I'm working on some more murder mysteries. We're going to have just a big variety on the wall. See you guys later, and have fun in your houses, okay?